Hi, Colin. How are you today?
I've been better.
Oh, that's nice to hear. And hope it was okay finding your way here.
Yes, it's not so bad. I'm parking. Yeah, I just parked like two stations down, but I'm good.
Oh, thank you for being here. And I would want you to know that my name is Taiwo. I have 10 years experience working as a counselor and to support you here. Thank you so much. And another thing I would want us to go through, the confidentiality clause. I want you to know that everything we discuss in this room today is under confidentiality. And you have a consent. If you want to divulge any information out, I have to receive your consent before I can divulge it to any agency. But I have a duty to report. If you give me any information or say anything during our session that could harm somebody and harm yourself, I have a duty to report. But outside and that, the confidentiality isn't close and nobody would know about you coming for the session today. And do you have any further question?
No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks for seeing me.
Thank you so much, Colin. Would you mind telling me what actually brought you here today?
Well, I'm living with this guilt because I have a very good friend who OD'd recently. And when I got the news that she OD'd at a party and she died, I mean, I was like, I haven't been able to sleep. It just feel ridden with guilt because I know she was using and I hid it because I didn't want anybody to as in to know that she was using, but I thought it was like she just used it recreationally, right? And I didn't want anybody putting any stigma on her to think that she's a crackhead or things like that. It's just she just used it recreationally. That's what she told me at least. And she came to me and she said she wanted to go to a party, but I just could not go. I honestly could not go that time. I could not go, and that was the night she died. So I'm just riddled with guilt, and it just can't leave me. This guilt is just on me.
So if I can hear you better, you mentioned that you are aware your friend is using substances. And the night she OD'd, she requested you to go along with her to the party. You did not go with her, and you're still blaming yourself for what had happened. Is that okay?
Yeah. I can't sleep, and the same way I'm feeling I don't even want anybody to know that she actually OD'd because people asking me how she died, and I'm trying to come up with another way to say, maybe it was a stroke or something, but I do because I don't want to betray my friend. I don't want to betray her memory or honor, to tell somebody that she actually OD'd. I can't say that she's my friend.
So if I may hear you right, you understand what she was going through before she OD'd, but you do not want people to stigmatize her.
Yes.
And that's the reason why you did not disclose this incident to anybody. And you are blaming yourself for what happened. Have you been able to speak to a parent at all after the incident happened?
Yes. And and I feel guilty because I respect them. I love and I respect them, and I just feel like in me if I tell them the truth, I'm betraying my friend, and then I'm wrestling with if I don't tell them the truth, I just feel like I'm not telling them the truth. You know what I mean? So it's like a conundrum. I'm at a conundrum right now. So I don't know what to do. Should I tell them the truth? Because they think like it's a stroke she had, she passed away. Because she's from church, and people would frown on these things. Yeah.
I can understand you very well, and I can empathize with you, but I would want you to understand that, blaming yourself for her demise is not something that you should do. We choose our own journey. Individually, we choose what we want to do with our lives. Even if you were there that night, there's every possibility of her passing away. But I admire the strength in you for being able to be here today to want to speak with me over this. And I would want to encourage you, and I want to assure you that we're going to go through this journey together. And I thank you for trusting me that we can go through this journey together.
Yeah, I just feel so burdensome to just carry this burden, to carry this secret around. To carry this secret around because I'm saying, would her memory be fake, or would her memory be fake? Would they know the truth, or would her memory be artificial? And I just figure that I'm the one who's holding the key to this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Should I free myself and just tell her parents, and then her parents are gonna say, why didn't I tell them? But she's a grown person, and she told me she was using recreationally. So you understand where I'm going with all this? You know, I'm just I can't even sleep.
I thank you, Colin. If I may put your word, you mentioned that you were aware that she uses substances. She told you have not been able to speak with the family, with the parent. You thought that they're going to blame you with it. But I would want to encourage you today. Why not take a baby step? The baby step to try and visit the parent, speak with them. It is natural for every one of us to grieve. Grief does not have a linear progression. Everybody grieves differently. This is somebody you love that has passed away, and the strength in you is coming out to speak with somebody. Speaking with somebody, talking about it is getting it out of yourself. It's an healthy step you have taken, and which I really admire your step on this. And I would want us, there are resources that are available that can assist us. And once you have already signed the consent to the consent to divulge information to other agency, I would want to, if you would not mind, to I would want to introduce you to other resources that are available there that could help you to go through your grief, if you wouldn't mind. Is this something you would want to do?
Yes.
That would be an interesting thing. But before we move on, do you like to tell me what are the things, what are your hobbies, what you do
like this? Well, I'm a housewife. Yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And especially in the daytime, because she was a stay-at-home mom also, and then especially in the daytime, I miss her so much because we used to come over and we used to our kids play together. I mean, she spent almost every day at my house and vice versa. I see her every day, so it's for me now. It's very hard going to the park. It is extremely hard going to the park. It is hard.
If I may hear you where you said she's also a stay-at-home mom, like you are what are the fun things that both of you do together?
We take our children everywhere together. We take our children to the park, we take our children to the movie, we take our children on outings. We go everywhere. We go Disneyland together. I mean, we celebrate the holidays together. Our husbands are very close. She's like a sister to me. She's more like a sister than a friend. That is why I couldn't break her trust. And I asked her, because when I first noticed that she was doing it, I asked her, and she said, oh, just take the edge off, and out of respect, I didn't want to. I was thinking that maybe she's having some problems in her marriage or whatever. She didn't want to tell me, and I respect her boundary. I respect the boundary. I didn't ask her, but now I'm just feeling overwhelmed.
Thank you, Colin. You mentioned that you've noticed all these things in her, but you don't want to push the boundary for you asking more questions. And if I may ask, you mentioned that you and her do take your kids to the park. Have you been able to see our kids after she passed away?
Yes, they're at my house. They still come over to my house, and it's very hard for me. Because I'm just saying to myself, if I'd said something, Mommy would have been here. This is what I'm telling myself. Maybe if I say something, my husband is saying not necessarily, because if she overdosed, which means you cannot control what she does. And but I just can't help to think that if I'd said something, maybe the outcome would have been different.
Right? From what you said the kids have been able to come to you, which I admire. That strength in you. I admire that strength in you, because if the kids are coming around, the things that you are doing together, that's a wonderful thing. You did not neglect the kids. The only thing is for you to get out of the guilt, to get out of blaming yourself for what had happened. And you had already shifted that love you had for her, for the children, without neglecting the children. I commend you on this. And like I said, would you want us together to work together, and you could access other resources that could help with the blaming and the guilt?
Absolutely. Like grief counseling? Yes, I really appreciate that.
That would be wonderful.
I really appreciate that, because I'm just overwhelmed.
That would be wonderful, Colin, because with that, it will allow us to build your strength, because I know you have a lot of strength to go through this. Like I said earlier, we have a right to grieve. You're grieving your friend, but putting the blame on yourself is what we need to work with. And assessing those resources will help you to cope with what you are going through. Thank you for sharing this with me. And I hope, like you had rightly said, that you would want us to exploit the grief session with other resources. I would appreciate us to go through that journey together. Yes. And I'll make sure to follow up on you. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Colin, what do you think I should have done better? Your observation with what I ought to have done better?
What I think you could have done better. Maybe speak a little slower.
Yes.
Yeah, you could speak a little slower. And help me to navigate, the stages of my grief.
Yeah.
Help me, with my grief, and just be careful of triggering questions too fast. Like you asked me to triggering questions too fast, because remember I lost my friend. So as I said, I don't want to betray her trust. So by talking about her, I would feel like I'm betraying her trust. So I'm here really for me and to how to navigate, to give me the strength to to deal with the loss of my good friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think what I should have done better is my active listening I didn't put my active listening into practice. Instead of putting a lot of questions to you, I ought to have allowed you to tell me yourself what your story is, to be the autonomy of this session. I ought to have handled it and give you the liberty to express yourself more, tell me how you feel more, let you be the director of the session instead of me pushing a lot of questions to you. And I should say this was done, it was done unknowingly, so that to acquire more information, I'll be able to gather more information from you, the state you are. But I think the best thing is for me, active listening is something I ought to practice more.
Okay.
A little bit of question, passive listening, and give my client more time to talk.
Okay.
Silence.
Okay.
Yeah.